Hello, welcome to the class on dealing with emotions. So I'm just gonna wait for a couple minutes before we get started, but welcome to this amazing, very informative class. I love this topic so much, and I have seen so many results when you deal with emotions, like the freedom that you can get. Hi Elena, say hello if you're watching this live, or if you're watching this as a replay. Say hello, say where you're watching from, and what you would like to get out of this class, this information session. So, quick question for all of you. Have you felt blue? Have you felt overwhelmed? Have you felt sad? Have you felt angry? And does it hold you back from living your life to the fullest extent? If you can relate to that, give me a yes. And of course, right, every one of us have felt emotions, but does it take away from your present moment? So the present moment is where joy lives, in my opinion. Like when you are in the present moment, there is a lot of joy that you feel. And when there are emotions kind of in the way, then it takes away from that joy in the present moment. And that's when I know that these are emotions that need to be addressed. Say for instance, if you can relate to that, give me a yes. And so say for instance, something happened in your day. Someone said something, someone crossed your path, someone took your shopping cart, whatever. And you are constantly thinking about that and thinking about that and thinking about that, to the extent that you're not present with your kids, for example, right? That is an emotion that needs to be addressed, that needs to be taken care of right at that second. Otherwise, there's a buildup that happens. And emotions are actually key for survival. You know, do you remember the caveman times? Of course, we might not remember it from this lifetime's memory, but it is stored in us. We are programmed to have emotions so that we can either fight or we can flee from that situation. This is why emotions are key. And for me, I personally welcome emotions because it tells me that something is not right. Something needs to be addressed. Because when that something holds you from this present moment, if I don't address it, it takes away from being present in your life, being alive in your life. And for all of you who are watching, I realized I didn't introduce myself. My name is Padma Ali, and I am an entrepreneur. I have a background in psychotherapy for 20 years. I did couples counseling and individual work, and I continue to do that, but not in the same capacity. But I bring that wealth of knowledge into this kind of work. And I am all about simplifying non-toxic living. That is my passion. I want to help women, especially moms, live a non-toxic lifestyle so they too can have the freedom in their mind, in their body, in their homes, in their families, in their relationships. And that's what my mission is in this lifetime, at least for right now. Okay, so going back to emotions, right? Emotions, the common thread in all these things that I described right now is emotions. The emotions are part of living life. And when you don't deal with emotions, it can often lead to illnesses, diseases of the mind and the body. That's common knowledge. In traditional Chinese medicine, they talk about how every organ stores a particular emotion, like the liver stores anger or the lungs store grief. And so when you don't deal with it time and time again, it can lead to diseases. So this is why it's really, really vital to pay attention to what keeps you from living in the present moment. I keep talking about the present moment, but this is key. Okay, so what we're going to cover in this class is some very, very basic things that can help deal with processing information. And I would highly recommend seeing a therapist, seeing a coach, or an acupuncturist or a chiropractor. All these different modalities can help you in conjunction with everything that we're going to be talking about today. So we're going to talk about what causes emotions to stagnate, what can you do about it, and we're going to talk about certain tools that you can use to work with emotions. And the tools that we're going to be talking about is mindfulness, how you can bring in mindfulness practices to deal with emotions, how you can also use essential oils. We're going to talk about emotional freedom technique, EFT, or tapping. And we will also talk about, at the end of it, we can talk about how you can have an opportunity to work with me. All right, so what causes emotions to stagnate? And the other thing, if you like what you're hearing so far, share this with your personal feed so other people can watch it too. And at the end of it, I am also going to do a raffle with a roller for emotional release. So anybody who participates today, comments, and then also shares this video, I will put them in a raffle for winning something. I love doing that. I love giveaways. They're so fun. All right, so what causes emotions to stagnate? So you've heard of the term fight or flight. We just talked about it. And we are programmed to survive. We're totally programmed to survive, and emotions are there to help us just do that thing. Right? When something, you're walking on the street and there's a car that's coming right at you, if you're programmed to run from there because you're programmed to survive. But what happens when that continues? Say you're like, oh my God, like you're a fear. There's like a lot of fear when the car comes and you jump out of your skin and you run out of there. And then you go home and something else happens, and then the same emotion keeps coming up over and over and over again. There's a tendency for it to build up if you haven't dealt with it. And emotions are uncomfortable, so our tendency is to kind of avoid it, right? Like it makes you feel uncomfortable. And so it is so key to kind of address that. So there are two other factors that I want to at least mention here, which are key in supporting healthy emotions, and that is gut. Your gut. Take care of your gut, people. Take care of your gut. This is so vital in supporting healthy emotions. There's a reason it says gut feeling. So take care of your gut. And the other thing is non-toxic environment, like creating a home which has non-toxic products and all that, because there are a lot of chemicals found in the regular household cleaning products and stuff like that that can be endocrine disruptors. For example, dryer sheets. So many of us don't even think about it, but dryer sheets can be endocrine disruptors. So simple things like that, make sure that your home is toxin free, because all of those things are going to contribute to, hi Sonia, are going to contribute to an emotional buildup that is not going to be of service to you. All right, so we're going to talk about tools in a second, but the first step is to identify an emotion. Identify it as an emotion, because once you identify it as an emotion and you separate that from the issue, this is vital, because the issues are going to come and the situations are going to come and change and all that is going to happen, but the emotion often is the same. It's like this thread that you can trace into many different situations. So separate the emotion from the issue so it makes it easier to work with that. So that way the situation is not going to feel dire, and then you have more of a capacity to work with it. And this is where mindfulness totally comes in, because all you need to do is become aware of what's happening. And the more awareness you bring in, the easier it is to work with that. And there are a lot of tools that we can use for mindfulness, and number one is meditation. I love using meditation as a mindfulness tool to become more and more aware of what is bothering me or what's behind that thing that I feel. And often the emotion will show up in your body. So the body is a good key to tell you that there's something that is holding you back. Okay, so let's talk about some of the other tools. And the number one tool I love using is essential oils. And the reason essential oils work when you inhale them or you diffuse them, like it's happened, like you can probably see my diffuser, that when you inhale or smell it, or you have the diffuser going, it basically works with the olfactory system, the limbic brain, which is the storage of emotions. And when you smell something like that, it transforms the emotions very, very rapidly, very quickly. And which is why essential oils are often used for calming, right? That is one of the aspects. You can do more than that with essential oils, but this is one of the easiest way for you to use to transform emotions. For example, you might relate to this. You go to someone's house and they're baking chocolate chip cookies, and it immediately reminds you of your grandmother's kitchen, right? This is the simple reason why essential oils work, because it directly connects with the limbic brain. And diffusing essential oils are a great way to release emotions, especially when I'm struggling with something. I'll put the diffuser on, I'll put some essential oils at night, and then I will set the intention for what I want to address. And then in the morning, at least I have clarity around what's happening, or I'm not as gripped by that emotion as I was in the night. So some of my favorite oils to diffuse are frankincense, and there's an oil that Young Living makes. I love it. I only use Young Living oils. By now you probably know that. And there's a reason to it. It's because they are one of the purest companies out there. And yeah, I know, right? They're one of the purest companies out there. They've been around for 25 years. Quick rundown on why Young Living. They weed with their hands. There's no pesticides used. This is the only company that has the seed to seal process, which is from the time the seed is sourced to the time it's bottled into essential oils. Complete quality care is taken, and they've been around for 25 years. For me, no brainer. So anyways, going back to which oil, I love using this oil called Release. It's a blend that Young Living makes, and it's specifically for releasing emotions. And what I do is I diffuse it at night. This is one of my favorite oils to diffuse at night, especially when I'm struggling with something. I even, hi Savita, also like when my kids are having a tantrum, this is a good one to put on them or even diffuse. And the reason, again, when I diffuse at night is because that's the time the body's resting. And when you're resting, the body, and then you're absorbing the molecules from the essential oils, it has the capacity to allow the body to do its natural process of healing. The body's natural tendency is to heal, to survive, right? And then when we give it the right environment, all it does is it allows the body to do its job. And whoever's watching new, like if you like what you're watching, share it with your regular feed, and I will enter you into a raffle at the end. All right, so let's go back to when you start addressing emotions. The first thing you need to do is to ground yourself. When you're grounded, it is so much easier to deal with the emotions. And the oils that I love using for grounding are any of like the tree oils, like the foresty pine, cedar wood. All those are very, very grounding. But one of the ones I love using is an oil called Grounding. It's a blend that Young Living makes, and it has all this pine and cedar wood and ylang ylang. It's fantastic for that. And what I generally do, I put it on the bottom of my feet, or I will put it on my brainstem, and it allows me to stay grounded. And this is key, because when you stay grounded, then it allows you clarity to do whatever you need to do to figure whatever the emotion is. So I'll often take a drop like this in my hand, and I'll do this. This is actually to activate the essential oil, and then I'm going to put it right on my brainstem. And as I'm doing that, I also set the intention of what I want to see happen. And with grounding, I'm like, okay, I want to stay grounded to get more clarity around the situation. Hi, Amy. And another one that I also okay, frankincense. Frankincense is another one that I love using for grounding. And again, it's another one that I love using topically. And once you use it, it really makes it easier to work with the emotions and the issues. All right, let's talk about happy thoughts. So when you're in the present moment, joy and present moment go hand in hand, and it's as much as possible, if you can live in the present moment, there'll be more joy, and that allows your vibration to be a particular way, and then you are more vibrating in that frequency of joy, and then allowing more joyful things to happen around you. This is just law of cause and effect. This is just how it works. So what can you do to bring in joy? To stay in the present moment, use the grounding. Be grounded. And also some of the oils, I call them happy oils. Any of the citrus oils are they really change the mood pretty instantaneously. And there's a blend that Young Living makes called Citrus Fresh, which is fantastic. What I do, I put this in my water bottle. I have a bottle in the morning. Usually it's better if it is stainless steel or glass, and do not use plastic with essential oils. You add a drop or two of citrus oils in this, and then that's it. Like all day long, I'm sipping it. As it gets over, I'll add a few more drops, and that's it. So the citrus oils act as happy oils. It really does change your brain chemistry. Another oil that I love using is called Stress Away. As the name suggests, it helps to release stress. And Stress Away is another one. What I often do, either I diffuse it, I'll take a drop like this, and either I'm diffusing it or I might inhale it, or this is something you can do. Make a tent and smell. It is fantastic. It really changes the mood and the mind pretty fast. All right, so let's now talk about transforming blues to motivation, empowerment, and feeling confident. Yes, Sonia, I love that. Yes, that's a great combination, Stress Away and the citrus oils. So the transforming blues to motivation and confidence and empowerment, because oftentimes when you're feeling low and you're feeling blue, it's like you're not feeling empowered, and the faster you can transform those emotions into something more uplifting, it's going to help you. And what you can do, and part of emotional healing is not just accepting yourself, but also believing that you have the permission to succeed. And that's very simple to do. And this is where I'm going to bring in emotional freedom technique and how I combine emotional freedom technique with the essential oils. If you've not heard of emotional freedom technique, it's basically called tapping. You Google it, you will find documents after documents after documents about tapping. And there's a reason it works, and the reason is there's the work of EFT. It's on the premise that every issue that you face or you deal with has an emotional component to it, whether it's physical, whether it's emotional, whether it's anything. It has an emotional component to it, and the more you can work with the underlying emotions, the faster the healing takes place with the body and the mind. And it's a very powerful tool, and it's a simple, powerful tool. This is what I love about EFT. It is even for like chronic illnesses, like physical illnesses, this is a fantastic one. Again, if you haven't shared this video, share it, because this is such a useful thing for most people to learn. This will benefit everybody. So, you know, I had struggled with an autoimmune disorder of the gut. And for me, one of the primary reasons I had struggled with it was because there was some unprocessed emotion that I didn't even know I had. Because till I worked through it, the healing process did not start. And of course, I did many different modalities of treatment, but the primary one that was also holding that was an unprocessed emotion. And I'll share with you what it was. I've talked about this very openly. I have a tendency to be a people pleaser, right? Which means I don't have a voice for my own needs. And when I don't voice my needs, it often goes and sits in my gut, and then it explodes into a disease. And so I had to learn, I had to train myself to speak my mind as and when things were happening. So this is really key, people, very key. Like, process your emotions, because if you don't, it will result in some kind of disease at some point or the other. So make sure to work with your emotions. And there's simple techniques. Okay, I'm going to tell you more about the EFT. Often when you have a distressing thought or a traumatic thing that has happened and the emotions are not processed, it will lead to more buildup of the emotions, thereby holding you, or negative emotions. That's when all that, like, you know, it pulls you down, it weighs you down. So here's how I combine emotional freedom technique and essential oils. Okay, so what I do, let me take, okay, I'm going to take an oil called Believe. I love Believe. So here is what I do. If you need more information about the specific, as I'm going to walk you through the EFT. If you need the specific points and all that, just PM me or comment below. I'll send you more information of how you can learn more about it. Okay, so I am actually going to put it on my fingertips. Okay, and the rest I'm just going to apply my body. So here is the fingertips, because I'm going to be using my fingertips to tap. And where you're going to be tapping is all the meridian points. That is just part of It's like acupuncture, but you're not going to be using needles. You're just going to be tapping on those specific meridian points. Okay, and as you're tapping, you also need to like say some affirmations and some specific sentences that you can use to reinforce releasing some of these emotions. So let's say fear. Let's take fear, because everybody has fear, and fear holds people often back from living their highest potential. So I'm going to start with tapping on this. I got a karate chop point. So as I do that, I'm going to say, even though I have this fear, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I have this fear of, and the more specific you can get, the better it is. And when you search for information about EFT, you'll find different ways that people use. This is the one that's worked for me, so this is what I'm going to show you. So even though I have this fear of heights, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I have this fear of heights, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. And then I'm going to say, I'm going to do this here. Even though I have this fear of heights, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. You can even just say this fear of heights. This fear of heights. So this is another point that you tap on. This is another point that you tap on. Even though I have this fear of heights. Even though I have this fear of heights. And then here. Even though I have this fear of heights, even though I have this fear of heights, even though I have this fear of heights here, this is like where your, if you're a woman, where your bra point is, and then underneath your breasts, like basically where the bra meets your chest area. Oh my goodness, I can't use words. So that's where you would tap, and then you would say these affirmations as you're tapping, even though I have this fear of heights. And before you start that, oh, I have to finish it. Even though you have this fear of, even though I have this fear of heights, okay? And then I go back to here, even though I have this fear of heights. So before you start tapping, pay attention to how you're feeling about that situation or about that particular emotion, where you feel it in your body. Usually your body will tell you. So if you have anxiety or fear, it'll show up in your, wherever it shows up. So pay attention to that and have a number for yourself, because that way you will know where you're at, whether it is on a scale of 1 to 10, whether it's an 8 or a 9 or a 5 or a 6. So once you finish this round of tapping, then you go back to that feeling, wherever it's in your body, whatever you're feeling, and see where it is. And if it's lower, but it's not fully done, then you repeat the same rounds. You do this over and over again till it's really low, till the number comes very low. And the reason I use essential oils for these tapping points is because then it works even more faster to release whatever you're releasing. And the smell also changes your brain chemistry as you're working with it, so it's much more quicker, faster, effective, and it works really well. So I love combining EFT and the oils, and especially for, okay, I want to touch briefly. So if you have any specific comments about or questions about EFT, give me some, if you write them down, I'll get to it. Hi Shelly, thanks for watching. And I want to touch briefly on trauma, because trauma often comes up and people often think like, oh, trauma is something big, but trauma does not have to be anything big. Anything, again, that holds you from living your life, right? That can have a traumatic component to it. Like my son, Anish, when he was born, he had a lot of issues with eating. Like he could not chew and swallow. There were some structural issues. To me, that is trauma, even though nothing traumatic happened to him. Yes. So the oil that I use is called Trauma Life, and it can be used on kids. I have used it since Anish was born, since he had all these issues with his eating, and it's so much better. We did a lot of work. He's a lot better. But I put Trauma Life on him, and I've used that, so it works really well, and it works well with EFT as well. So for young children, if you obviously you can't teach them how to tap, but you can tap for them. You can apply oils and then you can tap for them if they'll let you. And if not, if you are connected with them, obviously for you to do that, you'll be connected with them. You can also do it on yourself and imagine that you're doing it on them. that's the advantage of like having, you know, with kids, that they're really like open channels, so you can do a lot of these things. And trauma, I wanted to speak about trauma because we do not see I'll come back to that question. Yes, I'll in a second, Savita. But trauma, it may not be big, but when it's not addressed, there's a buildup that happens, and then everything, it holds you back in your life in many different ways. So definitely address the piece about trauma. And it depends. Savita's asking whether you apply it without dilution or with plain like that. And when I'm applying oils to children, generally my tendency is to apply it, is to dilute it with the carrier oil, because children's bodies tend to be more sensitive and they absorb it faster. But sometimes, especially if you're not applying to any sensitive areas, you can put it plain. So with Trauma Life, I love putting Trauma Life right on the brainstem. I've put it on Anish, and that I sometimes don't even dilute. Only if I'm like, if I know he's gonna touch it, or if he's gonna put it somewhere where it can. An oil like Trauma Life, you can totally do it without dilution. And one more oil that I love using for traumatic stuff is called Sarah. Sarah is another blend. These are blends that Young Living makes. One of the reasons I love the Young Living blends for emotional releases, because they are specific for releasing emotions. Because Young Living figured out that when you don't process emotions, it really does hold you back in your life. Whatever you're doing, whether it's you're running your business, whether it is being with your kids, whether it is running a household, whether you're working, whatever it might be, when you don't process emotions, it does hold you back. So the oils work really well, especially in conjunction with like therapy and EFT and exercise and eating well. All of those things help a lot. Okay, if you have any specific questions, I'm just looking to see if there's any specific questions. Absolutely type them, and if I don't get to them right now, I will get to them for sure. So, anybody struggled with emotions? I know that's one of the things. The emotion that often holds me back is anxiety and overwhelm. That totally holds me back. It's like I just get stuck in that warp of overwhelm, and it's so hard to snap out of it. If I didn't have all these tools, I would be stuck there, and I literally, like, it freezes me. So Savita's asking what Sarah's used for. Sarah is used for releasing emotions with relationship to traumatic stuff. And Trauma Life is different than Sarah, because Sarah is often, I'm trying to find the compliant way to say this, often like any deeper trauma that's happened, especially sexual trauma that's happened, it often is very good for something like that. But even then, even if you don't have that kind of trauma, like I often put it on my heart center, and I don't have any sexual abuse in my past, but I put it in my heart a lot, especially when I'm dealing with like emotions that I'm struggling with. And Amy's saying Sarah's my favorite oil when I'm feeling sad and I have anxiety. Exactly, yes. So it doesn't have to be big ones. It can even be something like that. I love Sarah. It's one of my favorite ones to put. Great. Thank you guys. Thank you for participating and sharing these things, because you know it also helps for other people to hear what you are sharing. And whoever's giving the hearts, I can't see who it is, but I love it. Okay, so in my oily chat group, the people who have chosen to join my oily team, I've really seen a lot of people share how much benefits they have found with using the essential oils, how it's helped them release emotions. They've had fantastic results, and that's one of the reasons I can't stop talking about essential oils and all these things, other things that I talk about living a healthy lifestyle, because when you practice these things, it has amazing results. It allows you to live a life of freedom. Freedom in your mind, freedom in your body, freedom in your relationships, freedom everywhere, in your finances. And the healthy lifestyle is about all these things. When your home has a toxin-free environment, it's like a sanctuary for your bodies to flourish, for your minds to flourish. Especially if you have young children, it's imperative that you have a toxin-free environment, because their bodies are so sensitive, and diseases don't happen in one day, right? It takes years for organs to fail. For my autoimmune, gut autoimmune, it took me years. I know I had gut issues throughout my childhood, but it took me probably 23 years for it to manifest into this. So it takes time, and as I often talk about this, Assad's cancer history, right? Like when he had this huge lump under his armpit, it was lymphoma. It was a long time ago, 20 years ago. Thankfully, it's in complete remission because we keep working on it every single day. And this is why dealing with these emotions, having a toxin-free lifestyle, making sure that you have freedom in every aspect of your life. You can never have a full balance. That's not possible, but you can work towards having somewhat of a balance in all aspects of your life. And Shelly is just sharing that joy has been very effective for self-care. Absolutely fantastic. Thank you for sharing that, Shelly. The self-care is such a key part about living a toxin-free lifestyle, because the more self-care you practice, the more you can stay present with everything that's happening in your life. And do you guys wish that whoever's watching who's not on my Oily Chat team, do you wish that you had someone to help you through this process? A lot of people come to me and say they get overwhelmed. They get so overwhelmed with thinking about, how do I even start this toxin-free lifestyle, right? I don't know how to even start this. And do you wish there was someone holding your hand every single day, every single week, every single month? And give me a 1 if you want that. And if you wish, do you wish that you had tools that were effective, that really helped you create this non-toxic environment? If you have that, give me a 2. And also, do you wish you had a community of like-minded people to support you through this process? I'm sure you do. And if you do, give me a 3. And this is what we create. This is what we create in our groups. And Savita is saying that, yes, you need that to take care of your hormones, because that can also cause emotions. Yes, and that's big part of living a toxin-free lifestyle, because when you live a toxin-free lifestyle, it allows you to also have hormonal balances, which in turn cause emotional disruption if it's not taken care of. There you go. Shelly is sharing 1, 2, 3. Yes, and Amy's sharing she loves the community. It is so true, guys. This is what we're creating every single day. And Savita's also saying 1, 2, 3. This is so key. And so if you're watching this and someone referred you to watch this video today, go back to them and tell them that you're ready to get started. If you're ready to get started on this journey to living a non-toxic lifestyle, go back to them and tell them you're ready, and that person will absolutely get you started and get you set up with everything that you need to live this toxin-free environment. And you can be part of our community, and I talk about all these things there. And if you're watching because of me, contact me. If you're ready to get started, contact me right away, because I will get you started, and your life will transform. Your life will transform in ways that you've never imagined. 5 years ago, I never expected to be doing this, and look at this, and this is so helpful. This is what we need right now in this world, and it's so easy to get started. So you have 2 ways and if you're watching this because of me, you have 2 ways of working with me. One is get started with my Oily, come join my Oily group, because this is the simplest way to address all these different aspects, including emotions, including living a toxin-free lifestyle. I'll help you get set up. It's so simple and easy. The second way you can work with me is I am actually planning to start a membership very soon of living a toxin-free lifestyle, where we're going to be addressing all these things. And if you're interested in that, put a comment below or contact me. I'll get you set up with that. I'm so excited about launching this membership because I want to be able to talk about these things every single day. And I want people to know that they have support, that it's easy. They have tools like meditation, and I'll provide you with healing. I wanted to actually do a healing for everybody, an energy healing, like a meditation, but I think we're out of time. But these are the things that I want to do in the group, where I want to do energy healing, teach you techniques, help you use your oils, help you figure out different ways of supporting your family. And so contact me, I'll help you get started. Hi Wendy. And thank you all for watching. Again, like, if you like this video, absolutely share it with your people, because this is so vital. Dealing with these things, living a toxin-free environment, is such a key piece of living healthy. Thank you all for watching. If you had any specific questions, I'll absolutely address them. But I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for each and every one of you. And take care. Have a beautiful, wonderful day. Thank you, Amy. Oh, and one more thing. In a couple of weeks, I'm going to be doing another class on immune support, especially with the school starting, fall starting. Oh, Elena, thank you. That is so sweet. Thank you, thank you. Thank you so much for watching and sharing this, because this is what I'm really passionate about. I'm so passionate about combining all these tools I've accumulated over the years and wanting people to live healthy. I have this vision of every family having toxin-free home and toxin-free mind and body and freedom, and being able to serve in the world, because when you feel free inside, it frees you up to serve the world in ways that are unimaginable. And I'm so grateful for this opportunity. Thank you, guys. Oh, the immune support class, I'm going to be doing that because once fall starts and kids are back in school, they are germ magnets. And I want to help your families not get to that place. There's so many things we can do to support the immune system. So in a couple of weeks, I'll put out the invitation. If you are interested, again, contact me and I'll get you set up with that. Take care, guys. Mwah. Love you all. Bye.